Okay, this is from SF Gate. Scientology's founder's family life, far from what he preached, by Don Lattin, February 12, 2001. When it came to marriage and family life, the late L. Ron Hubbard did not practice what he preached. According to its official teachings, the Church of Scientology regards the family as the building block of any society, and marriage as an essential component of a stable family life. According to his unofficial biographers, Hubbard, who lived from 1911 to 1986, had at least 7 children by 3 different wives, including one bigamous marriage. Isn't that a crime, you guys? Isn't that a crime? Isn't that a crime? His first son, L. Ron Hubbard Jr., was born May 7th, 1934, in Southern California, to Hubbard's first wife, Margaret Polly Grubb, their second child. Catherine May Hubbard was born January 15th, 1936. Hubbard Jr., who later changed his name to Ronald D. Wolfe, helped build his father's Scientology empire. You guys know empire is a coded word as well. I just found this out. In the 1950s, but later denounced his dad as a fraud. Seems to me like he also was trying to sue Scientology for some money. I have to go back and look. Scientology is a power and money and intelligence gathering game. Who else gathers intelligence, you guys? Who else gathers intelligence? Just think about that. He said in a 1983 interview, D. Wolfe died in 1991. Hubbard's second wife, Sarah Northrop Hubbard, gave birth to Hubbard's third child, Alexis Valerie Hubbard, on March 8, 1950. What happened to these other kids? Just 3 months later, Hubbard would unveil Dianetics, his new science of the mind. Someone with no credentials. Think about that one. In the May 1950 issue of the magazine, Astounding Science Fiction, his longer treatise, Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health, would be published later that year and become a national craze, laying the groundwork for the tax-exempt Church of Scientology. In divorce papers filed in Los Angeles Superior Court in 1951, Sarah Hubbard said the founder of Scientology did not mention that he was already married and had 2 children when they exchanged their vows on August 10th, 1946. Hubbard did not secure divorce from his first wife until December 24th, 1947, Christmas. I always look at the dates as well. The evildoers that control this world, they speak in like coded language. There's very many things they do, but gematria is like number 1. They often will show you the holidays that they celebrate or just significant dates. They're usually their holidays, and you guys should know what I'm talking about. In her divorce papers, Sarah Hubbard accused the self-help guru of systematic torture, beatings, strangulations, and scientific torture experiments. The Sun also talked about that as well. She also accused Hubbard of kidnapping Alexis, a story that made headlines in Los Angeles in 1951. There's another crime he did. Isn't it weird how nobody could seem to catch this guy? Come on. Why do you think that is? Hubbard married his third wife, Mary Sue Whipp, in 1952. She gave Hubbard 4 more children, Diana, Quentin, Suzette, and Arthur, over the next 6 years. Does anyone else know what happened to these kids? I need to do more research. Quentin committed bluicide in Las Vegas. I personally don't believe that story. In October 1975, what else happens in October, you guys? This thing keeps flipping around here. What else happens in October, you guys? Halloween, one of their biggest holidays. I'm sorry, you guys, this is crazy. When he was 18 years old, why not 17? Three years later, Mary Sue Hubbard was among 9 of Scientology insiders. Also, too, it didn't seem to me like Mary Sue was that upset about it. But I'd have to go do a little more research. Maybe she was. She was also content with having child slaves wait on her hand and foot while she was on the Apollo. So, Mary Sue Hubbard was among 9 of Scientology insiders. She was an insider, you guys. Indicted for infiltrating the Internal Revenue Service. Isn't it interesting how Scientology infiltrates all these government agencies and nothing really that big happens? Weird, huh? Infiltrating the Internal Revenue Service and stealing more than 30,000 pages of government documents. Why not 33? On the Hubbards and the Church of Scientology. Mary Sue Hubbard was convicted and served 1 year. There you go, you guys. She served 1 year. Wakey, wakey. Served 1 year of a 4-year federal prison term. According to biographer Russell Miller, the author of Barefaced Messiah, it's another good book, the true story of L. Ron Hubbard, Mary Sue took the fall for her husband, then lost out in a power struggle with David Miscavige, a second-generation Scientologist who assumed control of the movement after Hubbard's death in January 1986. 86, that's a death number too, kind of interesting. No mention of the brokers, though, was there? Almost like they were erased out of, his story. Miscavige, who started in the organization, is one of Hubbard's teenage couriers in the elite Commodore's Messengers organization, declined to be interviewed for this story. Think about how they present this, you guys. I know I've been really tearing up these stories, you guys, but just think about how they present this. That's child slavery. But the way they present it, he was a teenage courier. You mean a child slave? I didn't realize he was a Commodore's messenger as well. As for Ron and Mary Sue's 3 surviving children, Scientology spokesman Aaron Mason said they are all still members of the church. In other words, slaves. Either as parishioners or members of the staff. None of them, he said, will talk to the press. Right. Right. Other sources, however, said Arthur, 42, and the youngest child, has left the church and is an artist living in New York City. His older sister, Diana, retains a leadership role in the Scientology. There's some rumors about what Ron Hubbard did to her. I believe they're true. They do their best, Mason said, to lead normal, undistracted lives. Imagine anyone even saying that. One Hubbard ancestor who could be tracked down was Jamie Kennedy. Well, isn't that interesting? The grandson of Ronald D. Wolfe, making Kennedy Hubbard's great-grandson. Kennedy, 23, lives in Vallejo and is a nationally recognized slam poet. He said his mother and ex-girlfriend have been visited by Scientology agents asking about his references to Scientology in his poems and his decision to appear at an anti-Scientology benefit last November. They can't shove me up, Kennedy said. I made a career out of not giving an F. Billed as the hellspawn leprechaun, Kennedy shares his great-grandfather's red hair and in-your-face attitude. Genetically, I think we share some traits, Kennedy said. In high school, a psychiatrist asked me if I had a history of mental illness. In my family, I said, well, my great-grandfather was a cult leader. And that was February 12th, 2001, from Don Lattin. I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.